From haute couture to the holy halls of Notre Dame, these clothes won't hit the catwalks, but they will certainly be seen all over the world.
La chasuble des évêques, avec les 12 apôtres, il y a une sorte d'architecture qui ressemble à celle de Notre-Dame. On a les vitraux, on a la croix de la cathédrale.
Known for his playful and colourful designs and collaborations with pop royalty like Lady Gaga, Beyoncé and Rihanna, French fashion designer Jean-Charles de Castelbajac has a big commission to dress the 700 clergy for the grand reopening of Paris's beloved cathedral after the devastating fire 5 years ago.
I was walking in Paris when I understand the fire was there. I arrived in Notre Dame. Most of the people were on knee, praying, crying. It was not the architectural building of Notre Dame I was seeing in fire. It was like a universal hope was burning. So from this dystopia, I went home with this dystopia in my heart and I start to draw because I already think, what can I do for Notre Dame?
So he made these designs, fun, modern and simple. At the center, a gold cross surrounded by an explosion of vibrant colors. He describes them as a river of faith and hope that symbolized the rebirth of the near 900-year-old cathedral.
The first step is the material. I wanted like a chivalry, a knight. So I want something kind of a stiff, you know, something that will last. It's not stone, but it's almost the color of the new stone in Notre Dame. Not something flashy or too obvious. And it's cut by my atelier in the most extraordinary way of couture. And the sublimation of the cross, for example, is not embroidered like in 17th century beautiful ornaments. It's have to be contemporary.
So it's a mix of modern and traditional.
Absolutely, c'est ça. It's a mix of epic and pop. It's a mix of, when I say pop, it's about popular, it's about democratic, it's about touching the generation of the future, and even the kids, you know. I want it on the radiant cross, some kind of a stunning simplicity.
I feel like we almost want to put it on ourselves.
But you cannot.
What does it mean to you to be creating these clothes for the opening of such an important symbol of France?
I will show you maybe the most beautiful grief that I ever had, which is Jean-Charles de Castelbajac for Notre Dame. So I think it's an achievement. It's mysterious because it's a way where my art has reached my soul.
A far cry from the pop star glam of his earlier years, de Castelbaljac invites us into his studio to show us that the worlds of haute couture and holy robes aren't as far apart as they may seem. What does Notre Dame mean to you?
I think Notre Dame is a rendezvous, is a spiritual rendezvous. It was already a rendezvous for me when I was a teenager, because each time I came from the province, from Limoges, I used to go to Notre Dame. And it's also in Notre Dame I find my first fashion inspiration. Actually, they were like a medieval T-shirt, huge medieval T-shirt from St. Louis, and I used this shape for all my career. And it was so strange when finally I designed the vestment of the Pope for the GMG in '97. He gave it to the treasure of Notre Dame. So my first inspiration went along with the relic of Jean-Paul II.
Jean-Charles de Castelbaljac is unique, an haute couture designer that collaborates with the church. This is his third time. Back in 1997, he created rainbow-themed robes for the Pope for World Youth Day in Paris, as well as for 500 bishops and 5,000 priests. Tell us about what you designed for the Pope, because it was quite daring at the time, the rainbow.
It was very daring, but it was historical, because generally, neither artist or designer work for the church. And I have just one idea, as usual. It was the rainbow. It was the idea of the link between God and the people on earth. the hope after the flood, in the Bible. This is also used for the peace, for the LGBT community. There is no copyright on the rainbow, and we are speaking about peace. So we go on and we create an amazing event in like a festival of spirituality, because we have 1 million of kids and 500 bishops, 5,000 priests, and the Pope. It's changed a lot of things, in my opinion, in the perception of how to pray for a young generation. Because my idea was not to desacralize, but it was to use cloth as a link, not as something of distance. For that, I used the rainbow. For that, I used also a technique was like a sweatshirt technique to design a cross, and all the T-shirts for the kids. So suddenly everyone has the same color power. And it works. It works.
And the reopening of Notre Dame, it's a global event. How does it feel to have such an important role in that event?
At first, I should say, I was surprised to be chosen, because I don't do any competition, or, I was chosen by the Archbishop to create the vestment and some other element for the ceremony of reopening. So my first idea was, how can I match history and the future, It's not a matter to say, wow, in Notre Dame, the ornaments are so rich, so spectacularly, haute couture or whatever. No. It has to be sacred. So I went into the idea of epic. It was mysterious because for 74 years, I just drew on left hand. And for this project, suddenly my right hand wake up, and I discovered that she was good to cut.
Oh, wow.
So I did all Notre Dame project with my right hand, and I want to blow out my beautiful design, I was feeling it's too beautiful. It has to be powerful. And so I cut this cross, and suddenly I cut little fragments to create a radiant cross. Today the cross have to be radiant of hope, radiant of color, radiant of spirituality, and radiant of living together, simply,
And did the church give you complete freedom to do what you wanted?
Freedom is a dialogue. I always say that art is not a democracy. So if you want an artist, you have to let him express. The objective was noble simplicity. And so this cross has been accepted.
How does dressing a priest compare with dressing like a celebrity and a pop star?
So the common point for me is the public, is the audience. And we want both to touch young generation. My project is transmission. I am lucky because my art is linked to my face. But in the history, for example, Le Corbusier, when he built Ronchamp, he didn't believe in God, So it's a mission to be, whatever you're a believer or not, to give tools for young generation. And I think art is a social cement.
Bringing people together.
Bringing people together. And in this work for the church, which I find quite extraordinary, the audace and the temerity of the French church, who always have worked with artists, Matisse, Ronchamp, Amish Kapoor, me, we all convoke. It's quite rare.
The designer's work is known for its humour, its playfulness, the use of bold primary colours, teddy bear coats and cartoon-inspired clothing. But liturgical symbols are part of his creative universe. The most famous is probably his angel, which he sketches in chalk across Paris. He recently worked on this monumental version. And we're here in your studio, and it really is a mix of religious symbols and pop icons,
Oui.
Your universe. What unites those things, do you think?
My passion for history. Since I was a little boy, I always was fascinated by history, by epic. the Three Musketeers, chivalry, but I was also fascinated by colors. I hijack the rainbow and I make it mine. And since 74 years now, I use this very disciplined color to change the world.
Your aristocratic lineage dates back to the Crusades. Your distant cousin, Claire de Castelbajac, is a candidate for sainthood.
Oui.
How does your family's history influence your work?
You know, when you have such a long history, sometime I was looking to my ancestors and what they have achieved, you know, with courage, always serving the church or serving the king since the 8th century. And it was very important for me to show that to be an artist is as important, or maybe more important today, as to be a soldier. All my ancestors have inspired me. My cousin Claire was an artist. It was someone very remarkable because she has this intuition. She had a calling. I have not had a calling. I have had 3 rendezvous with the church. But what is mysterious at this point is that my words, my work, my art, everything is linked. I'm a good element to transcribe, maybe participate to the new liturgy, or maybe to tell to young generation that faith is a ray comfort in this time of loneliness.
Faith is comforting in this time of loneliness.
Oui, comforting in this time of loneliness.
Okay, Jean-Charles de Castelbaljac, thank you so much.
Thank you to you.